with all this stuff coming out about um, aliens and extraterrestrial races, whatever races that are not human, I want you to ponder this whenever you're thinking or reading about this kind of stuff. I am getting to believe that what humanity is, what we're for, what we're doing here, our purpose is an individual one, more or less. And it's considered like a school. Okay. I am under the belief that all of us, um, I mean, we get into NPCs or something, but like all of us who are thinking conscious people uh, are not just of our body that we're in. Like we're somewhere else. We're in an avatar. And it's a physical reality. This isn't some. I don't think it's some computer system like how the Matrix makes it out to be, but it's an actual physical, like video game in a way, or in a sense that we're born into our bodies, or when our bodies are born, we're connected to it as a soul. So and our memories are wiped, and we go about our lives not being connected to source, which is pure love. It's God to me. That's like source of everything. It's what is God. I believe that the only way you can really feel fear, pain, all the negative emotion that we feel that is like worse than physical pain, at times, it's all a construct of our brain. And so this like our brain and our body, it's like a filter to take in the world, and it's meant for us to learn lessons, and we're cut off from source, and when we die we go back to source. There is no fear or pain outside of our body. In other bodies there could be, but when we leave our body, so that's, I believe that's kind of how everything can fit. Like your experience is your experience, and no one else is going to have it, and no one else can live it. It's yours, but we're all living our own together. and and I believe that like the true other races that are out there, extraterrestrial stuff, not stage stuff by the government, which happens, I believe, but like the true other races are, we are of them, we are them. Like you, for instance, in your body, you might be a reptilian person somewhere else, and you're put in your body to learn a lesson, or you might be, a Nordic, or like what else are the other ones? They say the Greys, I think Greys actually are most likely other avatar bodies that beings would inhabit to be able to do dangerous or like physical work, but not endanger their actual body. So they put themselves into these little gray bodies and go out and do stuff. That's kind of my belief of what they are. Mantids, or whatever they said, insectoids. I think that all these other races, in order to go and experience, like being a human is like it could be like a vacation, or it could be like a challenge, or a school, or it's a thing to just go and do, and then yeah, we do it, and then it's done, and maybe we jump back in again, or maybe we're forced to be here. Maybe some people believe, and I'm thinking it could be too, is like this is like a prison planet. Like you're put here until you learn the lessons of not being violent, not being selfish. Put others ahead of yourself when you can, and take care of yourself. Take care of yourself and others. Learn things, express love. Be creative. Stop trying to control and dominate and destroy things. Like it's lessons we have to learn separated from source, because when we're in source, we feel nothing but love. There is no anger, fear, resentment, jealousy, all that shit. That's just something that we experience in these bodies. So that, to me, that makes things make more sense, because a lot of people say, like, if there's a God, how could he make this kind of suffering on this planet? Well, it's temporary, and it's to learn hard lessons, I guess. I mean, you could go so deep into this topic, and explain so much, but on a basic scale, that's what I believe at this point in my life, what is happening, or what we are, what this is for. And I don't think it's a negative thing. There is, again, negative in this world because we are cut off from source. Therefore, this is ultimately just like a theory, I guess you want to call it. So people out there do really horrible things to each other, and we are given free rein to do that because we live in a temporary body. We're isolated to this planet, and we're allowed to basically do whatever we want to each other, to ourselves, and to each other in the progression of like learning how to be a responsible, conscious being who's cut off from source. When you look at people's lives, we are an amalgamation of all of our experiences and what people tell us and what we witness and all these things, right? Like, and the human mind is very malleable, programmable, and if people, when we're afraid, we don't think. We just want to not be afraid anymore. So we're easily controlled by people, beings, whatever, that wants to keep us in a little box because we're not, I don't know. The pandemic was a great example of how easily people are manipulated into hurting each other just through fear. Like, honestly look back at it and realize that it stopped because Russia invaded Ukraine. Okay? I didn't get any shots. I've had worse hangovers. I had COVID a couple times. I had worse hangovers, but I'm a healthy guy. You know what I mean? Like, it was like a flu. Maybe and I know people die from it. My own grandfather arguably passed away because of it. But he was very unhealthy at the time. And in a way, personally, I'm happy that he passed away because he was not in a good place. And this is just a really quick little side note on people. How often will we keep someone alive in a terrible state of being because we don't want to let them go? They're not begging, keep me around. They want to fucking die. They just want to leave. Maybe they're too scared to death and they don't, but most people, I don't think, want to live in that state of like how we keep people alive. But we think we're these kind, loving people because we keep them alive and we want to do everything and we'll spend all this money and spend all this time just to keep them alive for a little bit longer when they're inevitably going to pass away. And we think that that's a good thing. No, you're being selfish. You're keeping that pet, that person, whatever, alive in pain because you don't want to face not having them around. And can you see how that can be very confusing for a person, for individuals, when we're cut off from source, when we don't understand what this is about, who we are, where we go, or whatever. Like, I'm not judging anybody in this. I mean, it sounds like I was, but I'm not. I'm just saying, like, that's how confusing things are for us because we don't have the truth of what we are and what we're here to do. And we're manipulated into eating poisons constantly, like right from birth. We're given shit. Our drinking water. I'm in Alberta. We have fluoride. Alberta, Canada. We have fluoride and chlorine in our water. Two of them, the most toxic substances made by people. By the way, they're not natural. We make them, and then we put it in our drinking water because it kills all the bacteria. Well, fuck, if it kills the bacteria, you don't think it's killing you? But we trust what we're told, and that's what I'm saying. Like, these bad people who are so far from source, they went pure evil, pure like fear and that, and they need power to feel safe. Like thinking about it can just be so overwhelming. But that's where the spirituality of that our our bodies are just a temporary. It's just a vehicle. This is like, this is your Toyota. We're driving around and you're, you're looking out your windshield and you're putting things in, steering it. making decisions, having to live with the consequences of them, good or bad, and you adjust and keep going. Religion's another good example. I think it's great that people have some kind of connection with each other, something that they all get along with. But the problem with that is that it's like hive mind. You know, you're not allowed to think outside of the box or question these things because it's the glue that binds you. And I've heard that there are like over 1,000 different religions in the world, and you think yours is the one? Come on. That's incredibly arrogant and narcissistic. I was born a Lutheran, and my parents baptized me that way. Lutherans believe that there is no afterlife. It's just dead, like you're dark. Like before you were born, that's what it's like, or some bullshit. I don't believe that at all. I can imagine crazy stuff in my mind. That is one thing I can't imagine, and therefore I know it's not true. Middle theory mind, I actually think you can't imagine anything that doesn't exist. But that's a deep conversation. I don't know. There's just so much information coming out there for people now. Everyone's getting on their phone individually. We're all in our little echo chambers, hearing all these different things. And it's a scary time in that sense that we're more divided now than ever before. And that's on purpose, by the way. Like, and it's like everyone has these ideas about something. Like if I say feminism is bringing down the Western world, people won't want to understand what I mean by that. They'll just automatically think I hate women. It's stupid. I don't hate women. I think women are amazing. Some women are really shitty, but a good woman is like, to a man, is like, it's the best drugs or alcohol. It's better than anything else. But a bad woman is worse than anything else. And I'm sure the same for girls with guys. A good guy is great for a woman. A bad guy can destroy her life and make her want to kill herself or something. Like we can affect each other in amazingly good and bad ways. And that's kind of where it comes down to. You have to build a foundation of yourself and not rely on other people. Enjoy them when they're good, deal with them when they're bad, and carry on. That's very easily said, not easily done, but you can't blame other people, and you can't rely on other people for your happiness, and you can't blame other people for your misery. Because ultimately you're the one who's being affected by that, by your choices and how you view things and how you see the world and other people. As of late, I've had a very negative outlook on things. I'm realizing that's just, again, like my own issues I'm dealing with. I know it's necessarily not the truth. But that's why life's a challenge, right? Can't get away from it. I definitely just kind of went off on a tangent here. I'm not even sure where I'm going with this, but you create your own reality. If you dwell on the negative and stew on it and you're resentful, all that, like the negative, I like to balance things in love and fear. Okay, like love is all your positive emotions, negatives or fears all the negative ones. Anger sits in the middle, because anger, if what I understand, is basically it's like you still have love, you still feel like the world should be good, like you're good, but all the negative is making you, and then like the negative is affecting that, and it draws anger. So anger is kind of like your jumping off point. It's like you can, anyway. But yeah, people in your life, those closest to you, those who you expect would sacrifice themselves to save you, can be the ones who bring you down. And that is a hard pill to swallow. But ultimately, it's, if what I believe is true, that we are a being put in an avatar body, then we likely choose our life beforehand to learn the lessons we want to learn, to take on the challenge we want to take on. So it's like you have to forgive the people who treat you poorly. I'm not saying you got to walk up to them and say, hey, I don't mind that you spread a bunch of false rumors about me and like did this or that about me or hurt me physically or whatever. I'm not saying you have to go up and tell people that's okay. But on an internal level of yourself, you have to understand that the people who hurt you are blind to reality. They don't understand what they're doing because they're sick. Like they're mentally, emotionally, possibly physically, in a lot of ways they're damaged, and hurt people. So if you go around in your life hating people that hurt you, and you have justification to feel that way, but if that's the way you're going to live your life, you will become that person who hurts people, and you will hurt people in turn. So, and you're hurting yourself by doing that. So the best way to move on with your life and to feel like at ease, because I know that's one thing why we're so manipulatable, because we just want to feel good, right? And so the best way to feel good when you're dealing with past traumas is to internally, mentally forgive the people that hurt you. Like I'm saying, you don't have to go up to their face and tell them it's okay, but you have to internally forgive them for what they've done. And then take the steps to not let them do that to you again. You have a right to set up boundaries, to not let those people back into your life. You can give them a second chance if you want, but if they hurt you again, you have to accept that you let them in. Okay? They're not just going to change because you forgive them, and they're like, you can't control other people. You can only control yourself. This is a very hard, serious, real lesson that we all need to learn. You cannot control other people. You can, like, in a way that you think you are doing it, but you're not. But you can control yourself. And that's hard because now you have responsibilities. Anyway, this is a long rambling. Started off talking about extraterrestrials. And this stuff is being put in the news for, I don't know exactly why, but my guess would be it's to manipulate us down a path of control, to be controlled. Because these people haven't grown up yet. They aren't old souls who know what they're doing. They're a bunch of fucking kids who just need to control everything and think that they can lie and cheat and people won't. Like I have close people in my life who think this way, that they can just lie and they'll get away with it forever, that people will just forget and move on. And there is a bit of a truth to that, because most of us don't want to deal with things, right? So like if you're the victim, you're really the only one that cares. Most people don't give a shit. They'll believe the lies because it's easier and they can just carry on, right? And liars are they're deceptive. They make everyone think that they're these great people, but they're full of shit. Inside, they're dark, horrible, shitty, scared little children. And they just can't accept any kind of responsibility. So they're not just lying to you and everyone else, they're lying to themselves. And a good person will want to forgive these people. They'll give them second chances. They'll believe them because they're very sincere when they're telling you lies, because they believe them themselves. But they'll ruin your life. They'll tear it down. If you don't behave the way that they want, they'll ruin you. If you call them out on their behavior, they'll destroy your reputation. They'll do things behind your back. They'll like just try to make your life shitty like theirs, right? Like it's two ways with these kind of people. You make their life better and they'll kind of look after you or like whatever. or you call them out on their behavior and set up boundaries, and they'll just do everything they can to destroy you. They're children in grown-up bodies with grown-up power, grown-up responsibilities, dependents, who they ruin. And they think they can do it. They think they're allowed to do it. And you're not going to change that. You can't change people like that. And there are so many of them who are in positions of power, and they lie to you and tell you that they're a good person. They start some charity. They do fucking work for people. Like they out in public, they make sure that everyone sees them as this good person. But behind closed doors, they're demons. And they're really nothing to fear. They have no real power. They only have power because we give it to them. And that's where forgiving people, that's taking back your own power. If you can forgive someone who's really wronged you, that is one of the most powerful things you can do, because you're now taking your life and your, like their whole idea is to control you and hurt you and destroy you, make you destroy yourself. That's why they go after reputation, because the biggest thing that humans that we want to do is fit in with other people and be part of the group. So if they can excommunicate you from the group with lies and bullshit, which they're setting you up for right from the start probably, but if they can do that, I mean, they just have to sit back and watch you destroy yourself. I've had this done to me multiple times. It almost worked. But if you look at the behavior, it's like letting a 5-year-old control you, a scared little 5-year-old who doesn't have, an inkling of themselves. They have to be reflected back on them from other people that they're great. They need other people to tell them that they're this or that in order to feel that way. So if you tell them that if they've done something bad, then they feel bad, and now that's your fault, and now they can destroy you for making them feel bad. If you make them feel good, then they want to keep you around like their little puppy. And they'll treat you like, they'll feed you and they'll look after you. But at the second you bite the hand that feeds, then they'll destroy you. You're not allowed to have your own life. You have to have their life. You can live the life they want you to live. So, I don't really have an aim or a direction of where I'm going with this, but I don't know. Pick and choose your friends. Can't pick your family, but you can forgive them, and stay in touch with the ones who do value your personal happiness.